Sogole amche Herald TV poleni rank mai mogaco yokar. 2022 Qatar World Cup. It is now make or break time at the World Cup. The World Cup enters now the quarterfinals, and the nations of two of the greatest players in history are still alive. Argentina, captained by Lionel Messi, play Netherlands. Before Portugal, the country of Cristiano Ronaldo, play Morocco the following day. The fixtures that we have for today: Croatia versus Brazil at 8:30, and tonight we have Netherlands versus Argentina. Tomorrow we have Morocco, Portugal at 8:30, and followed by England versus France. The World Cup toppers have come mostly from Europe and South America. Other Americas are persistent underdogs, and slowly the African nations are being treated with more respect. Europe continues to dominate the competition, in which most footballers participate in club football. Players from European nations regularly play for clubs that include the best players from all over the world, ensuring that they are always up to date with the latest developments. Wealthy clubs also means the best facilities. Because of their historical ties to Spain, Italy, Portugal, Argentina and Brazil, players are also hardwired into this network. Even most of Monaco's starting lineup play for European clubs. We have been watching young 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 23-year-olds who have graduated from several academies all over Europe and especially in Spain. Unless we have this approach in India and especially Goa, there cannot be very great upbringing of footballers. Hence, we concentrated today on the role of academies, and we have our panelists today, the sports psychologist Joseph Ronken. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank you.
The role of the schools and universities cannot be diminished. Like if you look at United States of America, it's the universities that give a very, very big push to all their games, especially basketball and athletics. We have Dr. Michael Dias to share with us his expertise, and we have somebody connected totally with an academy, the first academy that was launched in Goa. He is the head of the operations and he is also the secretary, and he has been with the academy, and we are pleased to welcome one and only Melroy Mora. Welcome, Melroy.
Thank you.
To set the ball rolling, you have set up an academy through Vedanta, and you have been running the academy. Let me recall that CESA had a very good team in the main league of the state. You all wound up the team, but we said that it could be the end of football as far as CESA is concerned. But no, you all said we are in football. We would like to start with the grassroots and the youth development, and you have set up the academy. Could you tell us now for how many years it is running and what has been the progress, and also whether you are happy with the development of the players?
Thank you once again, Mr. Jovito, for the lovely introduction. So CESA had started this academy back in 1999. The first academy on its reclaimed mine that's in Sankaling. We have a campus there, and since then we've been running that academy with the age group of under 14, and they are selected at the age of 14 and they graduate by the age of 18. So the main purpose was to give better platform and to nurture the talent in Goa at that point of time, since there was not many clubs who were having a detailed grassroots setup or proper grassroots setup, and that was the need of the hour, what the company thought about, and they ventured into the grassroots football. And since then it has been upward trajectory with many of our alumni players going on to don the national team colors. A few mentions would be Mickey Fernandez, Denzel Franco, Godwin Franco, then Rovilson, you have Agustin Fernandez, and much recently was Adil and Glenn Martins. And so this went on for many years, and in 2010 we opened up a new campus in Sirsai, and that was for entirely our Goa Professional League team, wherein many of our boys who were not able to find clubs after graduating. They were struggling for game time, and this was a platform that company thought of opening up, and that team was basically a mix of some experienced players with our academy graduates, and that's how the Sirsam Academy came into picture, which was there functional till 2015.
You started right from the third division.
Yes.
Then you went to second. Then you went to first, and you eventually graduated into the seniors.
Absolutely. So we started off with third division apart from the age groups, basically to increase the game time, because in our age groups the leagues are very short with 10 matches per season, and so we wanted to give them more game time. So that's how we started with the third division, and we consequently started getting ourselves promoted with every season, and that's how we ended up being in the Goa Pro League. But when we wound up in 2015, we already had a other team which had climbed the steps from third till second till the first division, which was there in the first division. So in 2017 when we revamped, we again wanted to qualify to be in the topmost division, because that's something wherein the players they can showcase their skills, talents, and if they want to go and play for bigger clubs like second division, I League or ISL, they can be spotted there, and there's a trajectory, there's a pathway that they feel okay, if we are doing well at the academy, we will definitely be pushed into the higher age groups and then subsequently to the Pro League. We also have non-residential centers that we started in 2017 at few places in north and south. In Sirsaim we had started, apart from that in Sangay and Nuve, and we're doing really well. That was for the age groups from 6 to 12, and the idea was catch them young, and the best ones then had an opportunity to play to come and give a trial for the selections for the residential setup.
So there's a good pathway.
Exactly.
That's important. And Joseph, how would you interpret this pathway that is needed?
I think it's excellent what Cesar has been doing over the years, because it was one of the first academies that was set up, and obviously Malroy has given a fair bit of names that have gone on to represent at the highest level for club, country. So they are doing something right. But the thing is, we need to understand. I just wanted to know, from him is how does the day start up for these players when it comes to being in the residential academy? Like pre-season. How is pre-season training different from season training? How does it? There's a transition, or what is the thing that you all do in the academy setup?
Yeah, so Joseph, we start off our academic year. We start off with the academic year because that's the time wherein the schools and all start. So we start in June, and that's the point of time wherein we start with initially with slightly low intensity, because the players, the boys have come back just from the vacations, and slowly the pre-season starts with a lot of intensity, because that's the time you're trying to get them conditioned, ready, physically fit. The intensity is much higher at that point of time, but as we are progressing through the season, as the competition approaches, it is more of detailing that takes place for the sessions, and it is more of sessions concentrating on the match situations, rest, recover, repeat that process. As far as the days are concerned, usually our schedule is very hectic. Right from the morning, they start around 6 o'clock if they have a gym session. That's not very frequent, but at least twice or thrice a week, depending upon the need and the strength that each of the individual players are having right now. The measurements that are taken at the start of the season with reference to their height, weight, and then that is something that is tracked over the season. Now once the day starts at 6 till quarter to 7, they are in the gym most of the time. If not, their day starts around 6:30. They'll dress up, they'll have their breakfast, get ready by 7:30. The buses are there. There's a transport facility for them to take them to school. We give them tiffin boxes so that they can have it during the recess time or the interval, because they need to be given proper nutrition, otherwise they feel hungry.
So you have been having a lot of boys all these years, and they have subsequently gone into the schools and the colleges. Dr. Michael, do you see these boys contributing for the school and the university level?
As much as I congratulate Melroy for the good work that they are doing at the academy, we have, for example, at Dempo College where I teach, we have some students that play for different clubs, Dempos, Sportings. Whenever there are university matches that happen, there is a kind of a tussle wherein students are not willing to play at the university level, because they feel if they play there, then they will be penalized as such at the club. So I feel there should be some kind of a link, coordination between the clubs, JFA, scheduling of matches, and the university tournament, the league that happens. So yes, there has to be some kind of a coordination that should take place to support these youngsters.
With these academies now, have you seen some improvement in the standard of football at the, say, college or university level?
Yes, very much. There are students from Xavier's and Kakulo College, even Sankaling College. There are years that they have dominated university matches purely because they have players coming from Sesa Academy.
I remember there's one school in Mapsa. They all of a sudden they became champions, and unknown school all these years, and everybody said, how come all of a sudden they are champions in football? And then it was found out that they were all with Sesa Football Academy.
And this year, Dempo High Secondary, they went for nationals, and they had around 9 to 10 players of the Dempo Academy.
Is it?
Yes.
So these academies are doing a wonderful work. I must congratulate all of them who are involved. We are coming through the halfway mark of our program, which is supported by Decathlon Kalangut, Martin's Corner Betalbatim, Adlengoy Family Restaurant, Duriadeger Multi-Cuisine Restaurant Old Goa, and Martin's Place Village Bistro Navilim. We have a very, very short break, and we will be coming back shortly. Stay with us.
Please do drop in at a small little family restaurant called Adlengoy, which is just 5 minutes from Basilica of Born Jesus and Say Cathedral. In this small restaurant, we serve authentic Goan cuisine, and we are known even for our fresh fish, chicken, mutton, etc. Also, we are known even for the other cuisines like tandoori, Indian, Indo-Chinese. So why don't you come over? Also, we have a full-fledged bar, and our bartenders do really good, amazing cocktails and mocktails. And also, most important point, we are having a live premiere of the FIFA World Cup. So do drop in with your family and friends, and for reservations, dial the number on the screen.
Today we are at Martin's place and the ambience, tenge ambience sarke chod bare. Like look at this, so spacious and so nice. You feel like dancing. So let's cheers for it. The food here is next level. Like it's so good and so the prawns, guys, they were so kurkurit. Like it is approved by Mr. Kurkurit. So look at me eat them. And Goan sausage stuffed sweets. Kitne lagtale re ho. Sam ke kadis boom bang zata. Ani tenge signature dish mila mare stuffed crabs. Kitne lagta bara pure crab meat, white wine, ani cream, ani cheese gun. Jauna hel mera ami prawns pulao ani chicken kafrial. Kafrial ki lagta har ke chod bare ta pula.
Welcome back to Bandit with Herald TV. We have with us Melroy Mora of Cesar Football Academy. We have Joseph Ronkon, sports psychologist, and Dr. Michael Dyers, who is with the Dempo College of Commerce and Economics. We've been talking about the academies, and we were focusing on Cesar Football Academy. Are you happy that you have contributed with your product at the National ISL or I-League?
Yes, definitely, but there's a lot to be done, I think, with the setup that we have, and there's a lot of contribution that we can do. So currently we have players in I-League. Recent passed out 2 years back, Shoaib Akhtar, who plays for Trau. He's in the 3rd season in the I-League right now, played for Neroka for 1 year, then a couple of seasons for Trau. Then we had Anil Chauhan, who recently had played last year for Rajasthan United. Then in ISL, Glenn Martins is there. Last year, Adil was still actively playing. So yes, apart from that, there are players who have got recruited in the Bangalore Army team and played for the Karnataka state team for the Santosh Trophy. And also a boy from Rajasthan was part of a Santosh Trophy team from Rajasthan. Yes, we can do and we should do a lot better, I think, at national level, and not only be satisfied there, thrive on international level aspects also.
But overall, they say that the standards of Goan football are on the decline. I don't know whether it's true or not. But Joseph, what is your perception?
I would definitely agree on that statement. It is on the decline. But then we need to see why is Goan football on a decline. We need to see, is academic setup culturally right for Goa. It's a change in culture right now in terms of a shift. Earlier we didn't have any academy setups, but we were performing well. Players were going to the international level, players were playing for much bigger clubs, and we were doing really well. Earlier it was just Goa and maybe West Bengal or Kerala at the most. Now why is this happening, is why are we declining even though their academics are coming up, is earlier there were less distractions for a player. If they wanted to get away from something, they would go to sports and none other than football, because Goa always was associated with football. And there is where they found their joy, there is where they put their heart and soul and mind, and that's what got them. Now in today's scenario for Goa, the culture is shifting because lot of distractions,
And more
mobile phones,
distractions.
yes, mobile phones, some other things, parties, various things. So though they like football, though they play, they go to coach, they go take coaching, they play well, they are distracted by all these other things. So that's where the culture of academy is coming and is probably going to help us in some way. In the long run, definitely is going to help us, because they are in this close setup, especially the residential academies that I'm talking about. There are a few that are already there in the pipeline for in Goa, apart from Cesar's, which is already functioning. So there is no distraction. You are in that bubble where you have your support staff, you have your coaching staff, and you have your team, and then these guys are gelling together. They are getting their routine, get up in the morning, do your exercise session, do your training session, go to school. If you are in under 14s, you go to school, you come back, you have a rest period, you have this thing again, go for training session. So that's the routine that they're following.
So that environment
Exactly,
is
that's a-
maintained in
exactly.
an academy.
Exactly. But now
You-
if you go to see those who are not in academy setup, what is their routine? Who is going to be accountable for their routine? They themselves or their parents or their coach. How?
And sorry to interrupt you, I don't know whether you forgot to mention, girlfriends also, I believe, come in.
Many distractions. As I said, there are many distractions. So the discipline part of it is not there. Earlier, what was happened? I was focused on my sport. I don't want to get distracted. I'm come here because I want to get away from something. So now what happened? That's difficult to do. Everyone is on their mobile, WhatsApp, Instagram, football. I remember even some of our very talented players who used to come to me for psychological help. They would ask me, sir, sunburn pasa. I'm like, what is your? I'm like, I have nothing against, but you have a match. You are during your training sessions. If you go for that sunburn party, how will you reach for your training on time? So those are things that sacrifice. You need sacrifice, and that's why top players today are at that level. Like players like Ronaldo and Messi, is because they have sacrificed. They know what they wanted. That's why they had to take the sacrifices. Just imagine players like Mesut Ozil, who says that I had to sacrifice on chocolate. So this is small things that matter. Small things that they sacrificed took them today to where they are today.
But this culture is changing.
It is
if
changing.
If you go to the colleges,
Yeah.
it's no longer sport which is dominating, but they have got a full week of fashion week and some other week, and the best part is they raise lakhs of rupees, and the colleges don't have to do anything. I think Dr. Michael, you'll be knowing much more about it.
Yeah, when we announce for selections for different sports, if it is a team sport of 11 players, for selections around 7-8 will turn up.
So you don't
And
get the
then
numbers.
we don't get the numbers to choose from. And if an announcement is made, an audition for a fashion show, they have 2 days of auditions.
2 days of audition.
Yes.
And when they have that show, the
Yes.
college doesn't have to
It
spend
doesn't
any
have
money.
Any money.
And
This-
on top of that, I have seen surplus money which is raised is given, handed over to the college, and the colleges are very, very happy.
yes, the priorities have changed.
They have changed. So
Also-
then we come back to
Exactly.
Joseph.
Exactly. Then we need to know why these priorities are getting changed and what is happening. Because earlier, if you go to see, sports players were given preferences when it came to jobs. And you would see this in customs, you would see this in police, you would see this in various government sectors as well as private sectors. They would prefer athletes. Why? Because they felt that athletes had discipline in them, and that's why you would see them in
And
this.
they would go by the rules.
They would go by the
Because
rules.
you always had a yellow card or red card
Exactly.
if you
Yeah.
are contravening the
Yeah.
rules.
Now what happens is, now if you just check how many athletes are today being selected for this post in customs, in police, in other government sectors or private sectors. Why? So what happens is, there is a slightly there's like, we don't get jobs. If we get injured, what is our security? Job security. What is our future? So those things are there. So parents also are not willing to send them. They're like, go for fashion designing, go to be a model. There is money in that, So there are a lot of things. So there are a lot of things that are contributing to what's happening today in Goa.
Do you mean to say, are you getting a good standard of the boys for your intake? Or these are, they have not made up their mind finally?
For last couple of selection trials, we got a good number. So number was not a problem. Again, you can make out the kids who have undergone training from a young age. There's a difference that is visible when the group of coaches are looking at the talent. Yes, there is interest with a lot of these kids. They feel that they are good enough, but then when you see them with the ones who have undergone training for 6-7 years, they are lagging behind. Some of them they get interest at a very later age, like at 14, 16, and sometimes we get a lot of these queries that I want to join your academy, and if we ask them what's your age, and have you played for school teams, or because school is something basic, you need to be part of your school team, or have you played or trained under any clubs? They say no, but we want to become players. it's very difficult to tap or to build on your basics at that point of time when you're 16, 15, 16. It's very late. That's why many of these coaches, the national team coaches who were foreigners, when they came in, they try to implement and catching these kids at a very young age, like 6, 7, because that's the time that they should be introduced to the game rather than being taught about the game. They should be introduced. What I mean about introduction is at the age of 6, 7, 8, it's just fun for them. They don't go by any rules. It's more of your baby leagues, matches. They come, they enjoy,
It's
they
more
go.
fun.
But
If I can add on, this is the reason why we need all the people associated with the game, whether it is the DSY in SAG, the university, GFA, now GFDC. We want them to come on the same page. We need to decide, for example, the PE teachers in the school, they are the ones dealing with the younger kids. And if you want football to come or for them to learn the game at that age, the PE teachers has to be trained or assign coaches to those schools, give them the basics. When they come to the high school, high secondary, college, they can be imparted the high level of coaching in that. So if you don't give them the grassroots, the infrastructure for them needed, the grounds, many of the schools at present do not have space even to run. So if you have a large number of students playing, you can pick up the best. But we have students coming even in college, forget the academies at 15 and 16, we have 18, 19, 20 students who have never played, coming for the selection sometimes, so I want to play for the college team. So you can imagine the standard of our.
What do you say, Melroy?
I agree. I absolutely agree with my friend Michael there, because there needs to be some synchronization among all the stakeholders that are involved. He being in the school, the educational setup, he has rightly mentioned that everyone has to come together. PE teachers have to be trained. Yes, and maybe some additional time or days wherein they are allocated for entirely sports activities. Say once in a week, weekends. We need to maybe sacrifice the other days in terms of covering up the curriculum, the subjects for that matter, but then Saturdays can be for sports, because when it comes to getting the kids after school for training, it becomes another headache for the parents. Some of them
So
are
perhaps
working.
if the schools are made the whole day, maybe could this be solved? Because now everybody, teachers also, they say 1, 2 o'clock, let's go home. But if it is say 9 to 4 or 5, where also play is made an integral part of their curriculum.
Maybe not, because what will happen is, again, when it is 9 to 5, again your club structure would go for a toss, the other games would go for a toss. It can be with the same timings, but adjustments with regards to the sports periods or other activities can be planned towards the weekend, and rest of the days maybe additional half an hour can be added to the.
But overall, I think we need to have a new thought process.
Yeah, I'll just add on that what he said. Maybe that thing is possible, till the under 12s.
Yes.
Because then what happens is, even he said, for any sport, you pick up a sport, it should start at a very young age. If you want to get into professional football or sports, when it is later at the age of 16 and all, it becomes difficult, because the coach also finds it difficult to coach them from scratch. So it has to be starting from a very young age.
But we all agree that the academies are the need of the hour.
Academies are need of the hour, but we need to improve. There has to be more money pumped in, because we need support staff. As I said, coaching is not the only thing. We have reached that limit. The coaches have reached that limit. They also find it difficult. How do we improve? How do we improve from here? We have already set
We
a
are
benchmark.
saturated.
We have saturated. How to go about? So that's where we need
So we need more experts
experts
to be added.
yes.
Analysts for that matter. And all the teams that go for the nationals, they must be analyzed on their performance,
Yes.
which is not done at all.
No,
We
exactly.
also need a database of these players, both at the academies and as well as when they play the pro league. There should be data of their performance, the match performance. For example, how many completed passes, how many assists. We do not have that data.
Yeah.
So we need to be more scientific for the
Very
real development. And we do remember that both Messi as well as Cristiano Ronaldo have been the products of their respective academies.
Exactly.
We congratulate Melroy and especially Vedanta for setting up the academy and doing wonderful work that you have been doing. It was nice having you here with us. I'm sure we need to meet more often and have a larger, wider discussion and see how we can proceed from here. Thank you very much, Melroy. Thank you, Joseph, and thank you, Dr. Michael. You have spent your valuable time with us. We will definitely meet. It's not one-off talk that we have had. God bless all of you. And to all our viewers, thank you very much.